that meet, what do the girls take away from that environment, from the other teams, the UCLA's, everything? What do they take away, do you think, or what do you want them to take away?
I want them to take away the fact that consistency is going to win, and we had some kids that generally give us solid landings and great performances, and it was a little bit shaky. And we can get 2/10 back anywhere from a lot of different things that happened during that meet, and we just got to come back and continue to polish the rock.
Do you think Myia had a 10?
I think Myia had a 10, without a shadow of a doubt. You look at it over and over again, and you could probably look at it in slow motion and find a deduction. But there were some 10s thrown this weekend for some performances that weren't perfect, and I thought hers was perfect.
Did you have some issues with the judging?
No, I didn't have any issues. I think we would have won had we have done a better job. And UCLA came in there and they were loose and relaxed and won the crowd over and did a great job.
In the heat of the moment, how difficult do you think it is for them to make a decision like that to take off a deduction, especially when it's full speed and they're watching it just like we are?
The judges are human. They're human, and sometimes you can give a 9.95 and it could be a perfect routine, or you can give a 10 for a perfect routine. And the safe place to be is to hang around a 9.85 because you're either going to not be too high or not be too low. So I was just grateful that the one gave her a 9.95 didn't give her a 9.85.
Is that something you can appeal or after the fact?
No, you can't. You can't appeal unless there's a neutral deduction, like maybe she stepped out of bounds and there's a question whether she stepped out of bounds. You can't inquire, put in a written inquiry on anything except if there's a disparity greater than like 2/10 in the score. You can put in question the judgment on that.
Can you ask what her deduction was for?
You could put in a summary and you're going to get a vague answer back, so I just didn't even want to go through that process.
What is it like to have her anchor for? I mean, you had Bugs last year. We talked about how McKenna probably is going to be in that role this year.
Yeah.
How has Myia stepped up in that role?
She's done a great job the last couple of times we've asked her to do it. She has done a great job. The person that we really wanted to get in that role is Kennedy, so we'll see if that can happen as we move forward from today. But she sure did a good job. It's going to be hard to move her.
Especially, she's number one in the country.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's going to be hard to move her now. Yeah, just stay safe, stay strong, and continue to do what she's doing, and she's going to have that spot.
Last week, you obviously had Juliana there, and you took her off the floor completely this week. Was there a reason for that?
Only because I took Juliana out this week, only because I wanted to put Christina Desiderio in. She's a powerful gymnast, and she needs some experience. Her last real competing string of competitions was for the Olympic trials and in preparation for the Olympic trials, and that's they only run like 2 or 3 meets to get ready for that, so she really didn't have a lot of competitive experience. So I needed to get her in there and have her get out there on a podium and where it's a little bit softer, and let her take her knocks, and then we'll start trying to polish her, getting her ready to be better as we move forward.
How'd you think she did?
I bet she did fine. Her landings were a little bit low. She did okay. I think her ankle's going to be a little bit sore because of it. But, Jules was solid in warm-up. We could have easily put Jules in. But I want to get 9 people. I want to get 8 people ready and have a pretty steady confidence in our depth.
How important is that depth when you want Kennedy to go out there? Maybe she can, or you talk about working some other people, and how important is that?
Well, you look at what Kennedy did. You kind of tweaked her ankle, then she kind of tweaked her knee, and so you never know when you're going to have to replace somebody at the last minute. But to have Juliana ready, and Juliana was a backup on beam. I let her get up and do a beam exhibition, and just so that she's competition ready. It's one thing to practice and be able to beat your teammates in the safe haven of our training center, but to get out in front of a hostile environment or in a neutral environment like that was at Metroplex, it's a different ballgame. It's a different level of competition.
You guys, I was just saying to Myia, you guys have been very consistent. I mean, you've had over 197s every meet for the last couple of years, at least. How do you start to, and then now there's been you've been more consistent than some people. You've had some people who have had higher scores than you around the country. How do you start to try to, you want to keep the consistency, but how do you try to ratchet up the scores a little bit?
I think-
Is it time to try to?
It's
say-
time to try to ratchet it up. It's time for us to, our conversation to change just a little bit. There's some methods that we use in training to, have the kids, put them in a pressure situation, and you have to hit back to back to back to back. If you don't, you start over. And that really begins to hone in. And we haven't done that a lot this year just because we're so young. So we're gonna try to do that a little more this week. We're gonna change how we practice, put everybody in groups and practice the whole lineup at an event so we get a real picture of what that event looks like. But no, we've got to ratchet it up. We've got to stick more landings on vaulting. We have got to become more confident, more aggressive on floor. And I just think we did not bring our best gymnastics, but this is going to be I think this will be a turning point. Kentucky's ranked 6th. They're a great team. I watched them last night. You can't take anything away from them. They compete with pretty high level of difficulty and good consistency. So we're looking forward to as good a meet as we've had in the PMAC in a long time.
What do you think's been holding you guys back from those higher scores on vault lately? Is there something in particular, or
Lack of control on the landings. It's that. And Juliana and Sarah Finnegan both did a great job. So we've got to be passing that crown around a little bit more.
Coach, so far, how do you think your team has improved from last year?
Well, it's hard to improve from last year. We've got to define ourselves as the team we're going to be this year. And we told the kids early on, I don't want you to wear anybody's shoes but your own. Don't feel like you got to fill anybody's space in. We had a huge loss in graduation, but then when McKenna went down, an Achilles tendon injury, that was a huge loss because when you count your losses from the year before, and then all of a sudden somebody that you are counting on, that really kind of was a punch. So, we're trying to develop some depth and get some people to come along. We've got Christina Desiderio that has competed, Juliana that has competed, Lexi Priestman, we want to get her in floor really bad, but we have to go slow with her. So there's some places that we know we want to go to make us as good as we were last year on that event and floor exercise, but we can take it a day at a time. You can't push it. It's not like throwing up a basketball and it makes a three-point or it doesn't make a three-point. If you put somebody out there and they land short, it's not a missed basket. It's a sprained ankle or worse.
Sarah said she believes that vault's the only event where y'all don't have 10 starting values across the board. Is that correct?
Right. And that's got to improve. And Ruby's vault's not where it should be, and that was a vaulter that vaulted well for us last year. So and then Sarah Edwards comes in, a freshman from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, and Bob teaches her a new vault, and all of a sudden she's in the lineup. And where'd this kid come from? So that was a huge bonus. But Juliana's coming back. Her vault really looks good, looks strong, and it's getting Lexi in there and maybe doing a 1.5 vault. She competed that last year. So we've got it in our stable, but we've got to be smart as when we let it out.
But all the other ones are all 10 values.
Yeah, the ones that we want to get in the lineup are, yeah.
We know about McKenna's contribution on the floor, but how much were you anticipating her on the other 3 events?
Well, she had worked her way into the vaulting lineup. She had worked a 10-0 start value vault, so we knew we were going to be able to have her in that event, which was huge. And then beam, she really was training well on beam and had been training with me for 2 years, so I felt like this was the year I was going to be able to put her in and maybe in and out of the lineup until she settled. And she has good difficulty up there and is a strong performer. So I think that'll be the event that we probably can get her back first in when we get her back.
For all things LSU sports, subscribe below.